Hello students, I am Safiya, your science teacher. Today we are going to continue the topic which you have seen in the last session. So what we have discussed, which lesson we have discussed? It is water too little to waste. Why it is too little? Because we have only 3% of fresh water. In that 3%, 2% is in the form of ice near the poles, and 1% is only fresh water which is available in the liquid form, that is in the rivers, ponds and lakes and wells, and as well as in the ground water. So that's why we say that water too little to waste. And we have discussed that sewage treatment. What is sewage? The unwanted liquid waste coming out from different houses, different localities or different areas is called as sewage. Right? If the water which is collected from our house, from hospitals, from industries, from a house, right, from schools and from hotels, from canteens, etc., all those will be collected and that will be taken into sewage treatment plant, where sewage is this water, solid liquid waste is made into purified water, and it can be used for different purposes. It can also be used for drinking as well. So let us see how sewage treatment is done in sewage treatment plant. First of all, what is sewage? The water with liquid waste, right, which contains contaminants. Contaminants are, it can be organic, it can be inorganic, and it can be microbial contaminants as well. Contaminants are nothing but the impurities. It can be organic, it can be inorganic, and it can be microbial. So first of all, we have identified. That means here three kinds of impurities we have. That means to treat the sewage, here three processes will be done. So in sewage treatment plant, first the physical process will take place. Then the biological process will take place. And then finally the chemical process. So sewage is treated by using these three processes. That is what? Physical process, biological process and chemical process. Because we have three types of contaminants in that. First of all, physical process. Physical contaminants are like organic contaminants or organic impurities like animal waste, human waste, vegetable peels, fruit peels, pesticides, insecticides that are physical. Biological in the sense microbial, right? All the microorganisms are present in that and etc. Next, chemical process, that is because chemical impurities, inorganic impurities are like chemicals are present, nitrates are present, dioxides are present. So to remove all those things, we are doing this chemical process. So let us start this sewage treatment plant. First, the sewage water is allowed to pass through the bar screens. A screen will be present, but it has bar. You have seen jail, how the bars will be in the jail. In the same way, here a chamber will be where bars are present. So what happens? So when the water is flowing through that sewage water, it contains all kinds of impurities. So first of all, here all the physical impurities like vegetable waste, vegetables, if any vegetables, rotten vegetable, paper, sticks, rags, milk packets, etc., whatever are there, those will be removed. So as these are bars, what happens? Nothing that can go away. Okay, the big things will be stopped here itself. And next, later on, the human feces, animal feces, or any other small impurities will be gone through the next process. So what happens here? First stage is bar screen, where all the big impurities will be removed, like paper, packets, milk packets, oil packets, bottles, rags, etc. After bar screens, water is allowed to enter into a tank. grit and sand removal tank. So in this tank, it will all the water will be going into the tank. The speed of the water will be decreased here. That is because whatever the grit and sand is present in the water, that should settle down in this tank. So when they decrease the speed of the tank water, decrease the speed of the water, automatically the sand, which are the big particles like pebbles, stones, those will be settled down in this grit and sand removal tank. Later on, the water is passed into another tank which contains skimmer, which has skimmer. First, the water is allowed into bar screens. Okay, all the big impurities will be removed like bags, papers, etc. Then it is going into a tank. Which one? Sand and grit. Grit and sand tank or sand and grit removal tank. Then all the sand will be removed, and if any very soluble, if it is very small, that will be coming along with the flow of water. Then it is sent into the tank which contains skimmer. So here we can get two types of things. One is what here we will get sludge and as well as a clarified water at this stage. So how we get this sludge and clarified water? Let us see here. So in this skimmer, a tank, okay, a tank which is sloped towards the middle. Okay, for example, if we have this much of tank, okay, so it is having slope in the middle. So what happens? Water which is present, which has all the impurities, will be coming into that, and the impurities like human feces and vegetable waste, animal waste will be going to the middle, that is at the bottom, and the water which is present will be floating above. So the things which have been settled down at the bottom is called as sludge. Okay, it is sludge, and the water which is present above, it contains oils, it contains some chemicals, floatable things are present there. Oil is present in the water because we are collecting water from industries, hospitals, kitchen, etc. That means we use oil in these all things will be using oil, grease. Okay, grease and oil is present in the water. So a skimmer will be present, it will be skimming, okay, like it will be rotating. So when it is rotating, what happens? The floatable impurities like oil and grease will be getting separated. So down already sludge has been separated. We got the sludge. Now after doing that skimming, after that skimmer has rotated, then what happened? Oil and grease also have been removed. So the water that is called as clarified water. So in this tank we will get sludge and clarified water. Sludge is 97% of water. So sludge can be used and this clarified water both are used here. The water which contains sludge is transferred into aerator tank. It is transferred into aerator tank. From here we got sludge and as well as the clarified water. Now it is sent into aerator tank. So in aerator tank air is allowed. So here they pump air, artificial air they will be pumping from outside. So what happens? There microorganisms will grow. The microorganisms which need air, they will grow first. And what happens? They will be eating all the vegetable waste, animal waste, human waste, fruit waste, etc. All those things, natural things will be eaten up by the microorganisms. And as they are eating, they will be releasing a gas. That gas is called as biogas. This biogas is very important. This biogas is used for generation of electricity. So by using this sludge they are generating the biogas, and as they are eating again this all microorganisms will be at the bottom. All the sludge is eaten up by the microorganisms. So again two layers we can see, layer with the sludge with microorganisms and above the clarified water. So as these all things are settling down, they will separate this clarified water and this activated sludge. The sludge which contains microorganisms is called as activated sludge. So activated sludge will be at the bottom and clarified water will be at the top. Now the clarified water is going up, okay, it will be getting separated. Now sludge and clarified water will get separated. So here clarified water is sent into distribution channel. That means that it will be sent into different areas. A tank will be where all the water got collected and from there it will be getting distributed. So now the activated sludge will be separated and the clarified water is separated. So as I said, clarified water will be collected in the distribution chamber. From there it will be sent to different localities, different areas. So that clarified, that from there the people may use that water for drinking or for cooking as well. So before sending it into distribution channel, people what they will do, they will add some chemicals. They'll add ozone, they will pass that ozone gas in the distribution chamber, or they will add chlorine tablets. So chlorine tablets and ozone gas are the disinfectants. They will remove the infection or the germs which causes infection. Already we have killed all the activated sludge is separated and all those are getting separated. But there may be a possibility that if any microorganisms or germs are present, then we have to remove that, right? So to remove, they will add disinfectants. What are the disinfectants here? Ozone gas and chlorine tablets. And after adding to this, they will be sending it into different localities and different areas. And this activated sludge is having all the animal waste, human waste and all the things which will be used as manure, which is used as organic manure. Organic manure is very important for the fertility of the soil. So this organic manure is dried. Okay, they'll keep this all the manure in the open place where sunlight can enter. So what happens is this complete sludge will get dried up, and this sludge they'll be keeping it into the soil. They'll be putting back into the soil. So what happens? Soil will get its all fertility. All the goodness will be taken by the soil. And not only that, here this activated sludge is 97% of water. So ozone gas and chlorine are added, right? And not only that, extra water is sent into the rivers, ponds, okay, lakes, wells, etc. after disinfection. So in this way, here we can see all these three processes have been taken place. First, physical process, that is bar screens and sand removal tank, and then skimmer. All these will be removing physical impurities. Then biological process, that is what? In aeration tank, aerator is used there where air is pumped. So because of that, microorganisms will grow and they will be eating all the impurities. And they will be producing biogas, which is used for generation of electricity. And then chemical process. Finally, when the water is kept in a distribution chamber, that time they will be passing this chlorine gas and they will be passing ozone gas and chlorine tablets. So in this way, here we are using these three processes for removing the contaminants from the sewage water. Now let us see what actually happens in the sewage treatment plant. For that, we have to do a simple activity at our home. Let us take small things and try to make the water good. Right? I mean, you have to use the sewage water and treat it and use it as a purified water. Let us see how to do this activity. For doing this activity, we need one glass jar. You can take one glass jar with the lid. Okay, it should have a lid. First of all, fill the glass jar 3/4 with water. With clean water. First of all, you are using clean water. Then in this, we have to add impurities. We have to make it sewage, right? So what we have to add? We have to get three kinds of impurities. First of all, add some detergent solution, detergent powder and stir it well. And then add some ink, then some dust, grass, plants, rotten fruits and vegetables, peels of fruits and vegetables, some sand, some pebbles, papers, plastics, etc. In this way, you have to add small things you have to add into this. Now, this jar should be covered with the lid. Now, we are putting the lid of this jar. Okay. And we have to keep this jar undisturbed for 2 days in the sunlight. Keep this jar undisturbed in the sunlight for at least 2 days. First day, you have done it and keep it in the sunlight. And in the evening time, you have to stir it and keep it at the same place. Again, next day, you have to keep the same jar into the sunlight. After 2 days, that is third day, you will see that the color of the water has been changed. It has completely become the sewage water. So now our experiment starts. Already we have made sewage water. Now we have to do the sewage treatment. Okay, for now take one test tube. Take one test tube and take this sample. Take some drops, okay, 4 to 5 drops are some amount, this much of water, sewage water I am going to collect in the test tube. And label it as sample before treatment. Sample before treatment, label it as 1. You have to remember what is 1 number. It means sample before treatment. Now, what you have to do? You have to go, after doing one process, you have to go on collecting the samples by labeling in different ways. Now we have collected the sample. After collecting the sample, what you have to do? You have to do this aeration. You have to allow air here. First you are going to allow air. You have to put an aerator here. Aerator you can can see in the aquariums, okay, they'll be putting one machine like that is what aerator. If you don't have aerator, you can use mechanical skimmer, that is you can use your hand, you have to stir it many times because the bacteria should grow and it should eat all the impurities. So you have to go on stirring it for some time. Then after doing that, leave that sewage water like that only. So that is what next day morning. Today we have taken sample 1, then we have kept aerator. Now today complete aeration will take place. Tomorrow morning you have to see the water has been aerated. Now you have to collect the sample and label it as 2. After aeration, that means aeration has been completed here. So second sample is after aeration. Now same, keep this sample like this only. And now third day, what you have to do, take one filter paper and a beaker. We have taken a beaker and filter paper and a funnel. Make the cone of filter paper. We have to make a cone of it and insert that paper in the funnel. So what happens here? Filter paper we have inserted. So this water, sewage water, it contains all the impurities. It contains sand, it contains small grass and all. So this water should be passed through this filter paper. Actually, in treatment plants that does not have this filter paper, they will be using sand bed which will be of meters long in length. Here we are using filter paper because we are doing small experiment at our home. Now we are using filter paper. So what happens when we are using this here sand, grit and all the small stones, pebbles and the grass and whatever the things which are physically, they will be getting separated, and down we will get the clarified water. Sludge we got here, now we are getting clarified water. So after that, then here this is the sample number 3, that is what after filtration. First one is before treatment, sample 1. Second one is after aeration. Third one is after filtration. Now collect some more water in the 4th test tube and label it as chemical, after chemical treatment. After chemical treatment. What we are doing in this? Now what two disinfectants are used here? That are either it can be ozone gas or chlorine tablets. So in this test tube, in 4th test tube, this aerated water is filtered water is present. In this I am going to add some chlorine tablets. So as I add chlorine tablets here, what happens? The color of this water and the smell will be disappearing. So this will become pure water. So now we got all this experiment have done. Now it is a time for observation. You have to observe these things. Now take these 4 test tubes and do not taste it. Do not try to do anything like tasting, knowing the taste of it or something. Just you have to smell it. So take these 4 samples, 4 test tubes and smell, see the color of it and see the differences in these 4 tubes. You will observe that in first sample it is very dirty and in the last sample it is very clean. So sewage water has been changed into the pure water. This is how treatment is done. Here the process have been up and down, but all 3 processes have been taken here and all those 3 processes have done, then only we got the pure water. This is same process will take place in the sewage treatment as I have explained to you. For example, if you are not making the water disinfectant, what will happen? All the water with impurities will be used and that water will cause different diseases. Those are called as waterborne diseases. That means disease which are caused because of drinking or using the contaminated water. For example, if you are not adding chlorine or ozone gas is not passed, what will happen? Some germs may grow. And those germs are bacteria or viruses. It can be bacteria or viruses which will infect the water, and when we are consuming the water, then it will cause the many diseases like dysentery, diarrhea, malaria, cholera, etc. Even malaria is also caused because if you are drinking the water which contains plasmodium. Okay, so to avoid all these things, to avoid the waterborne disease, the water which we are using should be disinfected. Okay, so it is our responsibility to see the people if they are disposing the water. Usually you can see in some small villages, what will happen? from, they have big houses and all, their water pipelines should be, but that pipeline will be coming into the open area, which is not completely closed and it does not have any safety measures. All the water from their colony will be getting collected in that complete area. Okay, it will be stagnated there. And what happens there, if it is any water bodies near from there, from there the microorganisms will grow, and because of these different vectors like houseflies, butterflies and mosquitoes, bacteria will enter into our home and causes diseases. And not only that, it gives foul smell, dirty smell will be coming from there, and as well as it looks dirty, etc. So what we have to educate them, we have to say them how to dispose the water. Not only sewage treatment, but it is very important to know the disposing systems, how the water should be disposed out from our houses. Let us see disposing sewage, how sewage should be disposed. So in some villages we will observe that people will be releasing this waste, okay, the waste sewage water from their houses will be released into the canals which are present at the sides of the streets, that are called as open drainage systems. Open drainage system, the type of system is called as open drainage system. Drainage means nothing but the dirty water, that is what sewage water. So the water from our house, drainage water, should be sent to the water treatment plant, right? So sewage disposal will be done in different ways. Some people will follow open drainage system. Okay, here itself we can observe that a road will be going, and beside the road we can find two canals, okay, sides of it, which will be having all the dirty water will be collected through our pipelines from our homes, through pipelines that will be entering into that canal. And that canal, where it ends, it will meet a big canal and etc. That all process will take place. And that is what that system is called as open drainage system. And in some houses, we will observe that in some cities and all, we observe there are the pipelines under the ground. The pipelines are under the ground. They will be collecting, they have connections, okay, from my house a pipeline is running and it is getting connected to the big pipe, and my neighbor's pipeline is also connected to the same pipe, okay, to the big pipe. So all the water through the pipes will be connected into that big pipe which is under the ground, okay. Pipelines are present under the ground. So this type of system is called as underground drainage system. Underground drainage system. So open drainage system will be present, underground drainage system will be present. So these two are the different systems. And in some small villages, in some houses, particular houses, people will also see, you can also see septic tanks. They have septic tanks. A ditch will be made, which is by using rings and all. They'll make a ditch, they'll put the all rings one on the other, and all the water from our house will be entered into that septic tank. All the wastewater, that is from bathrooms, washrooms, kitchen, everything will be getting collected in that. And after some time, when it will fill up, that the cleaners will come and clean that septic tank. This process will also take place. So it is also a kind of disposing sewage. So different areas will have different sewage disposing systems. You have to find out in your area which kind of drainage system is present, whether it is open, underground or septic tank disposing system. Okay, and what happens if it is open drainage system? If it is open drainage system, all the papers and even the foul smell will be coming, because it is open, so it will be mixing up with the air and causes lot of damage to the environment. But if it is underground, then no smell, nothing will be coming, and the water will be going directly to the sewage treatment plant. So this was about disposing sewage. Not only that, our government have planned, they are making the villages, they are educating them, and they are saying the use of septic tank, because in villages we could not go directly for open drainage system and underground. First they are constructing the septic tanks in their houses, which is a good measure done by the government. And we should also conserve the water. Conservation of water is very important. Conservation means saving of water. Because we use water for different activities, different day-to-day activities, we use water. We use water for cleaning, for washing, for drinking, for cooking, for cattle, for agriculture field, etc. So we have to save water. even though if it is the water, sewage water, some of the water can be useful, like a water which is used in kitchen. Okay, it have only organic impurities. That water should be connected into the kitchen garden. So in this way, we need not to use the fresh water. We can use this used water. In the same way, we cannot use the water from washrooms because it contains bathrooms, because it contains detergent solution, soap, shampoo, which is not good for plants. So in this way, and whenever if it is any leakage of any tap, you have to fix that. Okay, even the drop of water is also important. To conserve water, there is one samiti, that is called an organization, that is Vana Samrakshana Samiti, which will be protecting the water and as well as the plants. So this is formed in the year 1993. This is the head office is seen in the Medak district. So there the people, they will be collecting the rainwater. Whenever it is rainfall, they will be making the ditches and they will be collecting water there, and they have planted some trees. So in order to get water properly and all, they will be taking care of this conservation of water. It is not only their responsibility, but it is our responsibility as well. If you want to save environment, you have to save each and every natural resources. Students, your worksheet is what is sludge. What is meant by sludge? You have to write first. Explain the function of bar screens in a wastewater treatment plant. I have just explained now. Listen it carefully and answer this question. Name 2 chemicals used in disinfecting the water. 2 disinfectants which we have used to disinfect the water. Those names you have to write here. So this was the end of your lesson, water too little to waste. I think you have understood very well. So read it well, go through it properly, complete your answer sheets. Thank you. Bye-bye.